So the reason for Ryan Garcia looking so terrible against Rolly Romero has finally been revealed. And it's not because he's trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
It's not because he ran out of PEDs.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
It's because he injured his right hand.
What?
But I thought he only needed his left hook though.
Got him!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Yeah, you're a very important member to what we have going on. I appreciate you joining back for another YouTube video banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. Look here. Ryan Garcia has come out with yet another excuse as to why he performed so terribly. You heard the other ones, right? First, we heard that, oh, it's because it was the crowd. Like, everybody else on that card didn't fight to the same crowd. Everybody was exposed to the same conditions.
You dumbass.
But for Ryan Garcia, it's an excuse, right? Oh, we also heard that, oh, it's because of the long layoff. Well, Devin Haney, who was also on that card, had the same layoff, right? He was gone for the same duration, the same amount of time. In fact, a guy who fought the very next day, Badu Jack, was out for 2 years and he's 40.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
But he still managed to perform well. So we heard that excuse, right? You know, and then of course we heard the excuse that he's not right in his mental space. You know what I'm saying? That's probably an effect of the PEDs that he's been off for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, so now we're hearing another excuse. Now this one, despite my tone of the other aforementioned excuses, this one is rather legitimate, right? They said that he sustained an injury to his right hand during the training camp, you know, in preparation for Rolly Romero, conveniently, right? And I know it's, you know, it's something that I'm going to take lightly because I don't believe it. I think he would have lost if he had 2 hands, 3 hands, Austrian, whatever. Rolly Romero still would have beat him, you know what I'm saying? He just didn't fight well, you know? But I will say that if you are going in as a pugilist and one of your hands is injured and it's not working, then you are severely handicapped. I will give you that, you know? So I will say this is a legitimate reason, not even an excuse. It's a reason as to why you could have performed badly. However, we don't give anybody else an excuse, right? When Gervonta Tank Davis injured his hand against Pitbull, they just said how well Pitbull performed. We were enamored by it, myself included, because I like Pitbull. I'm not one of those that like to pick for superficial reasons, right? I just like fighters. I like Pitbull's a beast, you know, but Tank is also a beast, you know. And so with Tank being handicapped, we didn't give him an excuse to say, oh, well, you know, that's why it was so close. We just say how good Pitbull performed, right? So we don't really care about hand injuries. Another guy we don't care about his hand injuries is Shakur Stevenson, right? We call him pillow fisted because of his hand injuries. And we say that his hands are brittle and they're going to break again. And another guy that we also call pillow fisted is Devin Haney, but that's for another day, another time, you know? But we don't really care about hand injuries. We feel like if you get in the ring, then you should be able to perform. Well, Ryan Garcia was in the ring and he did not perform. So I don't want to hear about no injuries, no lingering injuries, no other reasons, no dreams. I don't want to hear about any PEDs being missing. I don't want to hear about any phantom injuries. I don't want to hear about any excuses of the lack of crowd or the atmosphere was different. Bro, you lost. Right now, everything else that we're talking about is just damage control on behalf of Ryan Garcia and Golden Shower Promotions. You know what I'm saying? That would be Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins and all of them. I don't want to hear nothing. Ryan Garcia lost. He lost fair and square, and it wasn't because of any significant injury sustained, right? Because if I remember distinctly, he mentioned that he could beat not just Devin Haney, but he could beat Rolly Romero with just one hand. Well, bitch, you had one hand and you still lost. So I don't really want to hear it, man. You know what I'm saying? You let me know what you think. Do you think this is a legitimate reason as to why he lost the fight? I personally don't. But I will say that if his hand is legitimately injured, then, you know, that is a reason as to why you wouldn't perform well as a boxer. You need both your hands. However, this is just bad timing, man. And given the circumstances, I don't want to hear about any of Ryan Garcia's plethora of excuses. This is not like it's one time where he had an excuse. I mean, when he lost to Gervonta Tank Davis, it was because he was drained, right? You know what I'm saying? There's always something to point to. No, he's just really not that good.
Yeah.
He's never been a champion, and he did not deserve to be the headline of that last card because Devin Haney is a youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era on the male side, right? Overall, it goes to Gabriela Fedor. She's the youngest undisputed in the 4-belt era, period. but Devin Haney's the youngest undisputed in the male side. Still, he didn't headline the bill. Jose Carlos Ramirez, he's a former Olympian and a former unified champion. He didn't headline the bill. You know, Rolly Romero is a former a former champion as well. He headlined because of Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia was the main attraction, right? Teofimo Lopez is a current champion right now, and he was a lineal champion, you know, multi-division champion. He didn't headline the bill. You see what I'm saying? The person that did is actually the least accomplished on the card. Even Arnold Barbosa, he might not have been a full champion before, but at least he was in a mandatory position. Ryan Garcia can't relate to performing well at the top of their class. You know what I'm saying? His best performance came associated with PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. So literally, not just figuratively, literally and realistically, he is the least accomplished fighter on that card, but he's given the most opportunity to shine. And when he doesn't shine, he's still given the most excuses as to why he didn't shine. No, he didn't shine because he's trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
And it is what it is, man, broken hand or not. But that's just my opinion on that, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Do you think that his head was an issue? Do you think it's a real excuse? Or do you think it's just something else that Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia and company are conjuring up in order to make an excuse and perform damage control on his lack of performance? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's preserve the sanctity, purity, and integrity of the sport, man. Let's stop justifying and giving excuses for cheaters, man. He cheated, that's it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.